how did we get that strip with a shed to the shiny new building of today? This is the BBC World Service, the world's radio station.
BBC World Service, 22 hours. This is Oliver Conway with the news. In the past few minutes, the US and Ukraine have signed their much-discussed mineral deal.
It's quite a big investment opportunity, and it's a deal in the end. Now focus down on military aid armament.
We go live to Washington. Also today, President Trump says the US economy needs more time to improve after it shrinks for the first 3 years. We look back at the fall of Saigon 50 years on.
I heard the noise of the rubber scrambles coming up the stairs in Paris, and I thought they're in. Then I thought, I have to finish these photos in the deep tank. I can't destroy this thing. The really good, amazing news is that the this survived. We were captured had to gain weight.
An artificial weapon could save the critically endangered. Our top story.
Hello, I'm Eileen McHugh with the BBC News. The US Treasury says a deal has been signed with Ukraine on the joint exploitation of its mineral resources. The agreement concludes months of negotiations that have been occasionally acrimonious. Here's our State Department correspondent, Tom Bateman.
A draft of the agreement, seen by the BBC, says a joint US-Ukraine investment fund would be created to prospect for oil and gas and critical minerals in Ukraine. It also sets out a joint financial arrangement for splitting the revenue. Crucially, the draft says the cost of future US military assistance given to Ukraine will count as part of the American investment in the fund. That means Ukraine would, in effect, be giving Washington access to some of its natural resources in return for future US security assistance.
President Trump has asked for more time to turn round the US economy, which contracted for the first time in 3 years in the first quarter of 2025. Trump said that signal is misleading because companies have stockpiled imports ahead of his imposition of tariffs.
In the first quarter GDP numbers just out today, GDP now we're removing distortions from imports, inventories, and government spending was up plus 3%. But this is Biden's economy because we took over on January 20th. And I think you have to give us a little bit of time.
The GDP figures surrounded 2 years of inflation, with consumer spending also down. Two of the world's biggest tech companies, Meta and Microsoft, have reported first quarter results that exceeded analysts' expectations. Microsoft saw both revenue and profits grow on the back of strong performances by its cloud computing and artificial intelligence businesses. Meta, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram, reported a $16.6 billion profit for the 3 months to March. It said AI tools have helped improve ad revenues. The government has said it rejects all foreign interference in the country's affairs and stressed its commitment to protect all communities, including the Druze minority. The statement from an important country involving the Druze community and an Israeli airstrike on in France reports from Damascus.
This is a serious surge in violence since the massacres of last month, and they involve a different minority, the Druze. A derogatory video circulating at the weekend on social media appears to have been the spark. Various forces under the leadership of the Israeli PhST say they sustained casualties before regaining control of the latest neighborhood-to-see clashes. But after that announcement was made, a Druze resident of the area told the BBC that she was terrified. As she spoke to us over the phone, loud gunfire could be heard.
World News from the BBC. Wildfires caused by extreme heat and winds near Jerusalem have led to the cancellation of most events on Israel's Independence Day. A national emergency has been declared, and the Prime Minister has warned the fires could reach Jerusalem. More than 100 teams have been brought in. The judge in Bolivia has annulled a warrant issued for the release of the former president, Evo Morales. He was charged with offences in October in connection with a 15-year-old girl with whom it's alleged to have fathered a child. He denies this and accuses his former current president in that party of handing him to the court to try to prevent him returning to power. Next Visiting scientists say one of the world's most endangered amphibians, the strange perpetual smiling axolotl, was skived after being released in an artificial wetland. Researchers released 18 captive bred axolotls in the area close to Mexico City after fitting them with radar trackers. They found that the creatures survived and foraged successfully, even during wait. King Charles has released a deeply personal message reflecting on his experience of cancer, telling relevant charities they have his whole family's admiration and gratitude. He is still receiving treatment more than a year after his own diagnosis. Here's Daniela Ralph.
The King's welcome message is for guests at a reception at Buckingham Palace for cancer patients and those who support them. Personal, and give a sense of how difficult a diagnosis can be. In the message, he says, each diagnosis, each new case, will be a daunting and at times frightening experience for those individuals and their loved ones.